Hey everybody, I just want to take a quick minute and do a video. Something really special happened to me yesterday and I want to let everybody know about it. And by way of this video, also say thanks to those people. As you might guess, I got a pretty spectacular Christmas gift from somebody. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot about it, but you can probably guess what it is. Yeah, it's sitting on my face. I got a Google Glass. It's a pretty fantastic gift for someone to give someone because these aren't exactly inexpensive, and for someone to give it to you, that's a pretty fantastic thing in itself. But this is special because I got this great note that came along with it. That was a letter, and I'm just going to flash it up here. I got this great letter that came with it, and you have to forgive my selfie stick here. I have a broken selfie stick. But I got this great letter that came along with it, and I got to be honest, the letter is worth more than a dozen Google Glasses to me. It is a fantastic letter, and I'll always cherish it. And I'm not going to talk about who gave this to me and embarrass them or anything like that. Just they know who they are, and thank you, and I love you, both of you, and we miss you guys terribly, and I can't wait to see you. Anyway, but in this letter, they said that this wasn't a gift that came from them. They gave this gift because God told them to. And I'm going to some of my friends aren't Christians. I'm going to let you know how stuff like this works. When someone gives you a gift in God's name, it takes away all of that uncomfortable tit for tat or now I have to do something for them, because if you owe anybody for that gift, who did it come from? It came from God, right? God told this person to give it to you. They gave it to you. Now you owe God for it, right? So you need to get out there and repay that to God and not necessarily worry about what you have to do for that person. And it's a wonderfully liberating thing to give a gift in love that way. And so I'm really humbled that these came to me that way. And apart from the fact that I just absolutely love these people, the fact that I got this way is fantastic. And really, what's more important to me is this letter. And I'm just going to be honest. This came from the family of an old Army buddy, and to my old veteran buddies out there, I miss all of you. And this has reminded me how fantastic it is to get a letter from an old friend, especially Army buddies. I saw a posting the other day. Somebody talk about with vets, we can go a long time and not talk to each other. It doesn't mean that we won't stand back to back in a foxhole together tomorrow, right? And I miss all you guys, and I'm going to do my best to sit down and put some pen to paper and send some letters out and just tell you guys how much I miss you and appreciate you. But that being said, we're going to talk a little bit about what the Google Glass is, because I'm sure a lot of you are sitting there wondering what a Google Glass is. I'm sure a lot of you are sitting there saying, that thing looks ridiculous on your head. You guys are haters, and you need to go ahead and check yourself because this is cool. I've spent a life reading science fiction and watching science fiction movies, and I totally love cyberpunk and all of that. So I'm looking to jack into the Matrix. I get as many wearables as possible. I got my entry level smartwatch, and those are just going to keep getting smarter. And as soon as I can do the Minority Report, sitting in a room, moving my hands, doing stuff, I'm into that. So you guys are hating on the wrong guy, because I love this. Now, some of you are sitting out there saying that I look ridiculous in this haircut and that it looks like I didn't brush it this morning. And you are absolutely right. I did not brush my hair. I'm perfectly fine with this. This is me. This is what you get. So anyway, back to the glass and what I've discovered in the last 24 hours of messing around with it. First of all, Google support that supports the glass team, that 800 number that you call, those guys are top notch. They're really great. I've had to call them a couple times, just making sure account information was right in the transition, all that stuff. And they are fantastic. They're really, really great people. Some of the best technical support that I've dealt with before. So one of the things that you can rely on if you go this route, and I imagine this is probably true for all of their products, that you're going to get really good support with Google. So what's the Google Glass do? As you can see, it's a wearable, sits on the face. It's actually really comfortable. It takes a battery charge, rechargeable battery that plugs in via USB. Charges really quick, like just a little over an hour. I'd say well under 2 hours to fully charge. So even on the go, you can probably find somewhere to charge it for 20 or 30 minutes to keep your power up. I mean, we're doing it with everything nowadays, so charging's on our mind, so it shouldn't be that big a deal. Maybe I'll do something later and talk about that later on about how convenient that is. But anyway, some of the basic apps that come just installed is it will, if any of you have Google devices, Android devices, there's the Google little app that it has that brings up the little pages, gives you your stocks and weather and things like that. It's going to do basically the same thing. In addition to being able to see what the stocks are and what your apps, you get your email will come up there. Any of the Google messaging services like Hangout or Google Chat, that's in there. I accidentally snapped a picture and well, actually I snapped a picture and then accidentally sent it to a friend of mine on Hangouts, just like trying to figure out what I was going to do with it, and it's like, no, don't do that, and it's learning the control system, and he's like, why did you send me a picture of your living room? So it does take a little bit getting used to, but it's cool that all of that seems to work seamlessly, and I didn't have to think about it too much. Matter of fact, I wasn't thinking, and it just did it. But sports scores, things like that, you're going to get automatically. So, that first line information stuff that most things are trying to deliver on anyway nowadays. And then there's a kind of an app store. So I started adding some apps. So just a list here that I have of some of the apps. Of course, you got Google search and web browsing. That's obvious. You'll have to ignore my dogs. They're freaking out right now. Weather, and not only weather, but weather maps. So the animated maps thing, it's really cool. You can take pictures and video, of course. Video's kind of neat. I know for like my mom and my wife, seeing what it is to actually be this tall is really exciting, and it's a real experience for them, kind of like climbing a mountain or something. So they, that's will be neat for them when I post those videos. One of my favorite apps right now is karaoke. I woke Kelly up this morning singing some David Allan Coe through karaoke. It just plays the music in here and see the words, and it doesn't do anything for the voice, but it gives you everything else you need. So if you've got a voice to carry that, man, this is your app. YouTube videos, you can stream your YouTube videos that way. I think I've noticed that doing that kind of stuff is going to really drain on the battery. You're supposed to, Google says you can use it all day. I think at the most people have ever got is like 6 to 8 hours of light use, and if you're heavily using it, you're going to get like an hour and a half to 3 hours, somewhere in there, of battery life before you're going to have to plug it in, because it's going to be completely dead. So a really cool one for those of you guys who've had the iPhone apps and phone apps, for the sky charts or star maps, things like that. Sky maps, star charts, different names, right? But same concept. Wherever you move it, you can see the stars in the sky. Well, this does it right up on the eyepiece. I can look around and I can see stars all around, find constellations. I can tell it to search and it'll give me arrows to find something that I'm looking for. Really cool. And what else have we got? Oh, play games, of course. I mean, everybody wants to have a new way to play a game. The interface is a little weird for that. Because it's different than like the Kinect or other tracking systems. So one that I thought was entertaining was skeet shooting. So I'm like tap and it shoots it off, and then I have to tap again to shoot. It is what it is. It's a game where if you're sitting in the doctor's office, right? Investing. It's not an RPG or anything, right? So also for you old people, there's called Magnify, and I say old people because I wear reading glasses too. So